Scooch over more? Yeah?
That nigga did not move at all. So?
It's about I think this is our fourth podcast. I'm making so much noise.
We should move it closer, or is it good?
Nah, it's straight.
Bro, you have scoot over more. There we go.
Alright, anywho.
Oh shit, let me type my mama address.
Anywho.
You have topics?
We can come to about the jump real quick. Alright. Since we are some teenagers, let's talk about some teenage shit, low key. Yeah, bro.
The internet.
No. No, I feel like if we were to talk about the internet, we need somebody older.
Yeah.
So we can put them on, because we already know what's up.
That's all we ever do.
Man, that's true.
Well, I mean slightly. Like
What
back
do you
in
mean
like
slightly?
when we were like really young, the internet wasn't really popular.
What is really young though? Because since I can remember, since 6 years old, nigga, I've been on a computer.
Man, me too.
Alright.
So nigga, if you talking about fucking 5 and younger, nigga.
But I mean, if we were really talking about it, like 2012 was when the internet like really became a part of everybody's life.
Okay, but everybody already knew about the internet. It didn't have the technology that it got starting in 2012.
What are iPhone come out?
2011?
Nah, bro.
Nah, bro, the first
The
iPhone?
first one? I don't know the first one, but I know my mom's had one in like 2008.
Yeah.
That was like third grade shit, fourth grade shit.
Hell yeah. But anywho. Now we've been talking about bitches too much, haven't we?
Yeah, that's all we ever talk about.
We need to stop. Yeah. Let's talk about. I was watching this thing, and they were trying to figure out why people in our generation. Like, I don't want to use the word generation because it's kind of corny. But like, for the sake of this conversation, people like in our age group, in our generation, are a lot more anxious and depressed than.
Bitch,
Like so.
that's my beverage. More what? Anxious and depressed?
Yeah, than.
Because of the internet, right?
I think it is because of the internet, because niggas look to the internet as like a sense of validation. Bro, give me my drink, bro.
How are we gonna hold it up?
Just put it down, bro.
Right, nigga, they know what it is. Beverage, thank you. But yeah,
He loves touching shit.
right. It was funny because that nigga took a sip. But yeah, I think niggas look to the internet as like a sense of validation. And there's a lot of fucked up shit on the internet, so they look towards it and then they don't get the they don't get the reaction or feeling that they were looking for, so then it's like, am I not good enough type shit.
Yeah.
They don't look to themselves, they look to other niggas. And I think that's what the problem is.
Also, it's a whole bunch of things. Like, not even like all of the internet. Let's just talk about social media right now. It's like you post a photo, you get instant validation, and you just get used to that. So like when you in real life, you actually have to work. You have to put in the work. You have to be consistent, and you don't get the validation right away. Then it fucks you up because like you're expecting something right away, but when it doesn't come, you're just surprised.
But even with that being said, like, sometimes you get that instant validation, but it's not the instant validation that you want.
Maybe.
Like, it could be negative. It could cause more harm than it does good.
Yeah, exactly. But like you post a photo on Instagram for say, what do you want?
Likes, comments.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's dopamine. I wouldn't say like dopamine triggers.
It makes
Likes
you
and
happy
stuff,
when you get a
yeah.
lot of likes.
And then it makes you do it again and again. Stuff like YouTube and Facebook have like they have whole teams of people at Facebook headquarters that like design Facebook so that there are so many dopamine triggers that have people coming back to that.
So it's like a drug at
It's
the
a
end.
drug.
That's crazy.
That's what it is.
You know YouTube? They have time like when you go on the app, if you like really pay attention to the details, you'll see like all the dopamine receptors. Triggers.
It's crazy.
Like, they have like recommended videos that like have like what is it called again? Clickbait. It's where they make the video out to be something that it's not, like more exciting than it
But
is.
that's what everybody.
Yeah, but that's more like that's another thing that YouTube doesn't even do. But like people saw it and they get like it's a
People click on it because they want to see certain types of things.
yeah. And then like likes, comments on videos, and those are also dopamine triggers, but more for like the creators.
Also, with them, with YouTube creators, the money comes with the likes and the comments and the shares and shit like that. So I see why they have to be like in every video, like, comment, subscribe type shit.
I mean, that too.
Regular niggas, like, niggas just look to be validated. And then when they get that feeling, they think it's supposed to come all the time, whenever they do something. And I think that, like how you said, like, that's where the problem comes at.
I feel like something else as well. Like, people go to the internet for role models. Like,
Very true.
Like, people don't even look for heroes anymore. Like, people don't see the line between heroes and role models. Like, heroes are people you can look at from a distance. That you can, like, look at and be like, yo, they're super cool. Maybe I could be like them. Role models are people that you know that are accessible, like, people you actually want to be like. But with the internet, people are, like, learning more about their heroes. And they're getting to know their heroes even more. So it's like, obviously it's the internet, it's easy to fake shit. So you post something on the internet and it looks like you're the coolest person alive, but you're really not. Now
they only see that little...
Yeah, they only see that little window of what they show you. Now everybody thinks your life's always like this. Like, you're not gonna post
and that's really the problem, especially with, like, these little kids.
Yeah,
like,
they everybody's
see,
part
they
all
see,
the time.
like, this after this after this, and they're like, oh, these niggas lit.
Man, but they're
really
really
like,
not.
it's not like that every day.
Yeah.
And I think that's where part of, like, the sadness and the depression comes from, because it's like, you want to live like how other people portraying how they live, and it's like, it's all about how they portray it. Like, you don't see the ups and downs, you don't see, like, all that, you just see, like,
you just see the good.
Yeah.
So when you're chilling at home, you feel bad because you feel like you're not doing anything.
You like, damn, I'm sitting on my ass, and these niggas out there doing
their work.
Right.
They getting money and shit. Like, bro, that's just not what happens. Like, obviously a lot of work goes into getting money and being famous and staying relevant and shit. But at the same time, they chill, bro. Like, they're not. You know, they're people.
But once you get to that peak, like, you're good. You don't have much else to do.
What you mean?
Like, let's look at, like, Rocky. That nigga reached his peak. Not even that. That nigga, he's been popping for as long as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
And once he got his foot in the door, it was set. And niggas are kind of looking to get their foot in the door, but they don't know how to. So I think that's also where, like, validation comes in at, because they're looking at, like, oh, I want to be like this person, so they copy that person and get the validation, and they're like, oh, that'll work for me. But it's like, you really just gotta be yourself.
Also, with people that are famous, I don't think you said once they get with their foot in the door, then they're good, but I don't think that's how it is. Because a lot of people get their foot in the door, but they never stay there.
But you gotta work. You gotta work while your foot's in the door. It's not like you just,
like,
here's my entrance.
Like, you're never good, bro.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you're famous and, like, your work has to do with the validation and the happiness of other people, especially, like, making music and shit. Obviously, it's like a personal, like, level. On a personal level, you want to make your own art, you want to make your own music, but at the end of the day, like, people...
You gotta do it sells.
Yeah, you gotta do it sells. And I'm not saying, you know, that's all they do, they make shit that sells, but, like, at some level, they have to recognize that if they stop working, then they can't make money. Like, they can't make the top money they have, and, like, you know, obviously they have side shit, they have, like, ads, they have movies and shit, but at the end of the day, the first thing that they had, like, music is the main thing that they had. For instance, like, it's just not gonna work out if you don't keep making music, and it's just like...
That blurs the line between, being famous and, like, getting the money that you want, or, like, doing what you want between, like, getting the money that you want. That's what I'm saying.
But, like, I watched this Tyler, the Creator video the other day, and he was saying that basically do what you like. It's not about what sells. Do what you like, because once you start doing it for other people, then you get stuck in that whatever works for you, and that's when people get stuck in, like, what they could have been and not who they can be, but what they. I just contradicted myself, but.
Oh, you good.
Like, they're working towards what the people want to see and not what they want to see in themselves. So I think the main thing that like people, creators I should say, look forward to is to just do what they like, and people will gravitate towards that because they'll see the work you put in.
Somebody told me it was like people like genuinity, like no matter what, like if they notice you fake, they're not gonna fuck with you. That's just how it is. That's just human nature. That's just human nature.
Because you can see through that shit so quickly.
Exactly, but a lot of people don't, so that's why. Like,
because they're stuck on the facade.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, if you put out genuine shit, people will like it. Because people are interested about other people.
Right.
Like whatever you put out, as long as it's like honest, I feel like people will like it.
But it's more about the amount of people than if people will like it.
Not even that though, because people are gonna like what you do regardless. There's always gonna be people that like it, and there's always gonna be people who don't have a say on it. There's always gonna be people who have nothing good to say about it.
I think we're ignoring the whole fact that like people do shit that they feel is genuinely cool. Like, what if people don't like it? What do they do then? They just keep doing what they want to do?
Pretty much. There's nothing else you can do because at that point, then you're looking for validation within other people, not yourself. So you're already messing up. But I also feel like that's very hard to.
It's hard to stay like that because like you got a family, like you got 3 mouths to feed if it's you, your wife, and a child. You know, school's not cheap. Babies are not cheap at all. Like gas isn't cheap. Amenities aren't cheap. Like it's difficult. And let me add on to that. Wait, what's coming?
Hello?
Like let me add on to that. It's like.
Hello?
We're getting more and more aware of the shit that we do.
Pound 7817. Yeah, but you have to put the pound.
We're getting more aware that there's a lot of shit at stake. Like we're getting more and more informed.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, we're more informed than anybody before. So that adds a level of pressure, and as well as everybody's saying, do what you want. You can be whatever you want to be.
But that adds so much more anxiety.
That adds way more anxiety because, like, you don't know what you want to do.
Yeah.
There's just if you do know what you want to do, it's hard to grasp what you want to do.
Exactly, and how to get there.
But I think with technology, I think that we can really get a more understanding of everything we want to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, all you have to really do is understand who you want to be and what you want to be. And then once you do that, all you have to do is research.
Yeah. Opportunities are endless on the internet.
Grind. You do what you have to do to get there.
See, a lot of people, though, they don't know if what they want to do is actually what they want to do. Like, if you want to put this amount of hours into whatever the fuck you're doing, like...
Is it going to be worth it?
Yeah, that's what I think the problem is. Because everyone I talk to that's anxious, like, suffers from anxiety or, like, I don't want to say depression, but obviously anxiety makes you more prone to depression. It's like, I noticed one common thing, it's like they don't know what they're doing in their lives. Like, they don't know. Like, the happiest people in the world, you think, like...
So look, the people who are doing what they love. Usually, like, the happiest people are the people who are doing what they love.
But that's not even where I was going, but yeah, that's true. But you think, like, some of the happiest people are actually happy, but they're not, bro. Like, I was talking to people, I don't want to say any names, but I was talking to people, and I thought they were set, bro. I thought they knew what they were doing in their lives. I thought they were, like, the coolest. God damn. I thought they were, like, they had everything figured out, but they did not, bro. And, like, they have the same problems I do. Like, they're anxious about what they want to do when they grow up. They're anxious about what college they're going to. They're anxious about whether or not whatever they're putting in, like, all the work they're putting in right now is going to pay off in the future. And it's like, I've noticed that the people who are in their bag, who know what they want to do, who have, like, a general outline of what they're doing, are the ones that are happy. I think our happiness is directly correlated to work. But, like, work that we know is worth it.
What work?
I mean, nobody's gonna want to wake up and go do something that they hate to do.
Exactly, but
Well, I mean, unless it's necessary.
yeah, that's
It's always gonna be necessary because you always have stuff that you have to do. You always have stuff that you have to buy.
Yeah.
So it's nothing. It's not like the world's gonna stop because you don't want to do this. It's like you have to go out and do it. And I think that's where some of the problems come in at.
well, the difference between somebody that's like unhappy and happy doing a 9 to 5 like fucking fast food joint job is that the happy people know what they want to do. Like they know that what they want
That
to do.
this is just like a stepping stone.
Yeah, they know that it's temporary. A lot of people that are just doing it just to do it, just to get by, and they have no plan. Those are the most anxious people on the planet.
Let's take a step like back. Was there ever a time in human history when humans were happy?
Yeah.
I personally don't think so.
Like maybe like when they were ignorant, like in the savannas of Africa hunting and shit.
I think so.
Because ignorance is bliss and whatnot.
I don't think there's ever been a time that niggas was just 100% happy.
Well, obviously not.
But like happier.
I know.
Somebody got that.
That's fat ass guy.
I know that nigga
What
wants
is it? What is it?
Nigga, the drink you is drinking. Send my song, nigga.
Okay. Anyway, I feel like when people were obligated to do a job, they were more in tune with what they actually wanted to do because they knew that they just want to get at that job. So all the stuff that they think that they know they enjoy, that's the shit that they want to do. So they look at that, they look to whatever that is as motivation to just get through the job. But now we don't even know what we want because we have so many options. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Being forced to do something you don't want to do makes you realize what you do want to do.
Exactly.
Because when you have so many options, you're overwhelmed.
Exactly. And you just don't do anything.
Yeah. I don't know. The internet is many things. It's a blessing, it's a curse, you know. Mainly a blessing. But I mean, it has its consequences.
I feel like the internet's a cancer.
Well, okay. In some senses. But
feel like
how is it cancer?
it's just it allows for people to overshare. Like
That's true.
like it's get a fucking journal, dude. Like I know that was like a major jump from whatever the fuck we was talking about to this, but I feel like the internet.
Yeah, I mean, the internet is a giant journal. I mean, it can act as a journal.
But like the thing is like, what the fuck?
Look at how cool that is, bro.
That's hecka cool. Now, but we live like in a time where we have the ability to communicate with people. That's fucking disgusting.
Doesn't taste bad. Try it.
We have the ability to communicate with people, but we don't do it in person anymore.
Yeah.
You're just losing the aspect of depth.
Like with the people.
When
Relationships and shit. I mean, sorry to cut you off, but
yeah, you're losing an aspect of depth when you don't talk to people in person. Like people can spend their entire lives inside and claim that they're social and never step out the house because they have the internet to talk to people. Like face-to-face conversation is so important. Like
yeah, like you can't really hide emotions when you're face to face.
I mean, you can,
I mean,
but
not as if you were on like a messaging chat.
Yeah, like it's easier to see who people really are if you see them in person, like and see how they really are.
Cause you can fake most things on the internet. Almost everything.
Yeah.
And that's the scary thing about it. That's weird. You think the internet was designed to be what it is now?
I have no idea.
I think I read somewhere that the internet was first used to share scientific documents between scientists.
I believe it.
That was like the first portal.
Because the internet was created by the military.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
The military was using the internet in the 1970s.
Remember?
They were using it. It was super primal though. It wasn't like anything close to what we have today, but they had the internet. They released it to the public like 30 years later. Or however long later. Like, it's...
Funny story. I remember being told that like the at a UCLA tour that the first computer was made in NorCal between, they were trying to communicate for the first time between a computer at Stanford and a computer at UCLA. And they were trying to just spell log in, right? Just trying to send that one message over to the computer at Stanford from UCLA. So then they sent the letter O, it worked, they got it, yay. Sent the letter O, it worked, they got it, yay. Because they were trying to spell log in, right? They tried to send the G, but the computer crashed. And when it got back up, the computer actually sent the letter L. So the first message on a computer
Was LOL.
was LOL. And that was kind of crazy to me. Back, what was on right now?
I'm like going in on this popcorn.
Yeah, this popcorn is pretty good. Have you ever tried the buttered one?
No.
My mom got it for me accidentally.
How was it?
It's not bad, but you gotta love the cattle corn. You know? Cattle corn is just straight up better.
I just... Whoever watching is just watching us eat. And talk on the side.
At this point, yeah. Okay, we need another topic. Because I'm done with the internet topic.
Yeah, I feel like enough people have said that.
Yeah. Something unique.
Don't try to be unique. It's fucking gay.
Not trying to be unique,
Don't try to be unique.
but I mean,
Dude, I'm talking about like what's annoying now, bro. People are trying to be different now. You don't try to be different. You just be yourself, and if you happen to be different, then you're different.
well, what's wrong with trying to be different?
Because it's ingenuine.
Which is not being
yourself.
Which,
Bro,
in this case, is not being unique. So, in a way, not being unique is not being unique.
No, bro.
Trying to be unique is not being unique.
Bro, it's not even like a matter of being unique or not. Just be yourself. And if you happen to have the same interests and the same likes and the same attributes as everybody else, who the fuck cares? Because you're still yourself at the end of the day. Like, people are trying to be different now. Like, people used to make fun of me because I was weird, bro. Now everybody wants to be weird. Like, I'm fucking goofy, I'm fucking funny. Like, get somebody as goofy and weird as me. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. And motherfuckers, the same motherfuckers that made fun of people that were weird are the same ones claiming that they are weird. Because being weird is cool now.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Being unique and weird is in now.
It's cool now. It's trending now.
Honestly, maybe people are just down to do whatever's trendy. That's...
Like, people are not... Okay, let's talk about clothes right now. People are not getting... How do I say this? People are refraining from buying a certain, like, brand of shoes that they think are super cool.
Because it's not unique.
Because it's not unique. Exactly. It's like, everybody has them, so I'm not gonna get them. Like, what, bro? Like, if you think they're cool, then they're cool.
I find myself doing that often.
Like, that's fucking whack. Like, I don't want to call you right, but like, bro.
What's wrong with trying to stand out, though?
Because you're not doing it because you are gonna stand out. You're doing it because you want to stand out.
It's not genuine.
It's not genuine. Unless that's your personality, of course, but like, I don't know. I I just find it hard to believe that people are just like different when they're really not. Because a lot of people are the same, and that's okay. People are allowed to be similar to other people because if you interact with a certain amount of people, then obviously you're gonna have the same attributes as everybody else. If you immerse yourself in a culture where a lot of people are doing a certain thing, then obviously you're gonna have an inclination to like that certain thing.
Maybe some people are just afraid of being labeled.
Bro, but like, who the fuck cares?
They do.
Why?
Because they're afraid of being labeled.
Bro, you just answered the question with the fucking thing I was questioning. That doesn't make me... Just be yourself.
Maybe some people are just afraid of people not liking who they really are.
Yeah, that's a major problem, and obviously it's not an easy thing to get over. I'm not gonna say that being yourself is the easiest thing all the time, but in general, you should have a grasp of what you like. Rule of thumb: if you want to be a genuine person, know what you like and dislike.
How does one do that?
What do you mean?
No, like some people are just like immersed in a culture where everybody likes a certain thing and everybody dislikes a certain thing.
Okay.
Like Twitter. Pretty much everybody on Twitter likes like one thing and doesn't like another thing. Like there's like the Twitter personality. Like we'll just call it the Twitter personality. How do you like break free and actually find out what your interests are?
Sit down and think about it. People don't do that anymore.
Just sit down and think.
Think about what you like. Think about what makes you happy and what makes you unhappy. Make a list. I used to think that shit was bullshit when people used to make me do that.
What, sit down and think?
Sit down and think about what you like and what you don't like. Well, you know how helpful that is? So you don't have any moral discrepancy anymore? It's so much easier to make the right decision if you know what you like and what you don't like.
People...
It's so much easier. People have... I don't want to say that, never mind. That's not true. Well, it's way easier to make a decision if you have a clear-cut line between what you think is moral, what you think you like, what you like, what you want yourself to be like, and what's not morally acceptable, shit that you don't like, shit that you don't like. Like, it's easier to set boundaries. It's easier to say yes or no to things because you actually know. So you get yourself in less stupid situations.
I know what you're about to say.
You get yourself in less stupid situations if you know what you like.
Like what stupid situations?
Like people do. Okay. I played football for a year because other people told me it was cool.
But you didn't know if you liked it or not.
Yeah.
What's wrong with trying it?
I did try it, but I kept going even though I didn't like it. Because like other people were like, bro, just keep playing. At that, I didn't think about whether or not I liked football. I just kept playing because I was already there. Like, bro, you gotta like get out of that mindset. Like, I'm already there, so I might as well do this. Like, no, bro. Like, if you don't want to do it, if that's not what you're trying to do, if your end goal is not to be good at a certain thing, or it's to reap the benefits of a certain thing, then stop fucking doing it.
Well, okay. Let's use me as an example. I've been playing soccer for my whole life.
Okay.
But once I got into school soccer specifically, I don't know, it didn't click the same way it did when I played soccer outside of school. And now I'm in this position where I have to play because the coaches depend on me and the teammates depend on me. But I don't really know if I like playing for the team or not.
Let me ask you something. Do you think you have a choice in this?
Well, obviously, but I'm afraid that people aren't going to like my choice.
Why do you care?
Because those people are close to me.
So?
I mean, are you just saying that I should make my own decisions without thinking of what other people will think of them?
That's what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying really get a grasp and see if what you're doing is worth it or not. Like, is is you playing soccer, you know, for example, and not enjoying it for an entire season.
Well, I mean,
Obviously, like,
there are some parts where I do enjoy it.
okay, but you're not enjoying it to the full capacity.
Then I would be doing something else.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why would you waste your time doing something that you know you could drop for other people? Like, what's a little bit of satisfaction from a couple coaches gonna do for you? Not that I'm saying like you should be selfish and say that, you know, everything should benefit you, but
Well, also like positioning, like being captain is a pretty cool thing. That's something that I've been striving for.
okay, well, do you think that's worth it for you then?
Yeah. I mean, there are a couple things that come with being a captain, you know, respect, freaking college apps, and bragging rights.
So is that worth it for you?
Well,
Because if it's worth it for you, then by all means, play soccer. But I don't think you've ever sit down and really thought about whether or not this is worth it for you.
I don't think a lot of people do.
That's the problem.
The internet, man. It all goes back to the internet.
No, it's not, bro.
Think
We-
about it.
we just
Why can't people sit down and think of things anymore?
Because they don't want to.
Because they're too busy on their phones.
They could easily put it down.
They could, but why would they?
Don't blame it on the internet.
We can't blame it, but we can just say that it's a part of the reason.
It's part of a reason, but you said it's because of the internet. It's
Well,
not.
It stems back to the internet.
No, it's not. Then you're just putting the blame on something else. The blame is for the people. Like, it's easy to put a phone down, bro. Like, it's not that hard. Like, delete your apps, bro. Like, if people really wanted to get into what they were doing, they would do it, but they don't. The internet's part of it, but people are just lazy.
Word. People are lazy. People are lazy when they don't have to be. What's the opposite of lazy? Active.
Hard working. Motivated. I don't know, whatever.
It's weird how there's not like a perfect antonym.
Hard working.
Not like a perfect answer, like up, down, left, right. Lazy.
Lazy. We'll think of one. But
Be awake.
anywho, yeah.
Wow. How do you think? Have you found your passion yet?
No. I know I want to do something physical though.
What do you mean with your hands?
No, like with my body or something. Like, if I become a dentist, I want to be like a fucking fitness trainer on the side or something.
A fitness trainer on the
Like,
side?
I want to do something physical.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Like a CrossFit trainer?
Huh?
Like a CrossFit coach or something?
Not maybe like a personal coach, cause like I like coaching people through shit.
Yeah, you seem like you'd be a pretty good physical coach.
And like I like researching shit that helps your body. That's what I noticed so far. Like I never really thought down. It's like this is the first time I really like thought about it and like sat down and thought about it. But I like doing physical shit. Like I might not be the best. Oh,
Yeah.
I just farted. That was like a bitch fart. I might not be the best at like whatever physical thing I do, but I like breaking shit down and researching shit that could help the body. Like I want people to feel more like confident about themselves and like feel more attractive and shit. Like, cause like for me that was like a big problem. Like when I was like younger, it's like even now, like I was super self-conscious about how I looked. So I like worked, like I did all the research. I did not all the research, but I did a lot of research to, you know, make shit work in my favor. Like, what can I change in my daily routine so that I could lose some extra like weight or something? Because I used to be fat. Like, what could I do to shed some of the pounds, or what can I do to make my hair like stand up a certain way, or how can I, you know, it's all cosmetic shit, and I'm kind of like interested in that. Like, you know, like molding yourself to be the best version of yourself you could be. I feel like I want to help people do that, even though that I don't have it all figured out. But I feel like if I help other people figure it out, then I'm gonna learn how to do it for myself.
But I mean, you already have most of it.
No, I've not actually.
What is there more to do?
You know, how to be more confident in myself, obviously. Like,
Well, I mean, maybe instead of people trying to fix themselves, they should just be confident in who they are.
that's part of it, though. I don't want to say fix like there's something wrong, so like just tweak certain things so that people feel more confident. Like, bro, you feel so much more confident when you win, bro.
Yeah. Wait, when
You win, bro. And when you give yourself an opportunity to win it every single day, and you're way more confident. Like, okay, let's see where I'm coming from. Like, because that's kind of like an outlandish like claim right now, since I have no predecessors for this. But every day, people have the opportunity to feel good about themselves. They have the opportunity to wake up and feel good. Like knowing that going forward that they're going to be good. Yeah, okay, think about it like this, bro.
we're almost hitting 40 right now.
Let's go to 45.
Okay.
Think about it like this, bro. You're playing a video game, right? And you just keep losing, like, you just keep fucking up the game. Like, you're not going to want to keep playing the game if you just keep losing.
I don't know about
Like sometimes, like, for some people, like, losing gives you, like, what's it called? It gives you motivation, but at some point, you get beat down so much that, like, you just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say that everybody's like that, because there's some diamonds in the rough. Like, there's some people that can just do that, but for the you know, the majority that have a difficult time doing that, I don't want to say can't, but that have a difficult time, you know, it's beneficial to give yourself an opportunity to win every morning. Like, for example, like when you wake up and you have an alarm, don't press snooze. Because
you're winning.
As soon as you press snooze, you lose.
You're a loser.
Literally, like, motherfuckers say you snooze, you lose. Like,
That's
you literally lose.
How literally?
Because
I'm gonna say literally because it's not like it's a game. If
No,
you
but
press snooze and you're literally losing.
you're losing the day. Because you lose control of the day. You're no longer giving yourself control of what you do. You're letting yourself succumb to your bodily like calls, like, to go back to sleep.
To the laziness.
To the laziness, exactly. Like giving yourself the choice to win and taking that choice and making it. What the fuck are you doing?
What?
You want a stress ball or something?
Dude, I think I have ADD.
Yeah, I think you do too. Like no, like I don't want to like get on you, but I think you have.
Dude, I think I have. I've been thinking that since I was like 12.
You probably do.
I used to get my name on the board every single day in class when I was like 1, like in the first grade. I wasn't 1, I was in the first grade.
I think you do have attention deficit disorder.
Dude, but I don't know how to get tested. I know you can go to Kaiser and whatnot, but that's like a whole process, and I have to wait until my next appointment. And I know
Just find out. So you really know. But I really think you do.
or maybe it's placebo. Maybe because other people keep telling me that I think that I have it, I keep doing it more. Maybe if I just like try to stay still, I won't touch anything.
The more you try to stay still, the less still you'll be. Have fun doing that. See, you still touching shit.
Oh shit, I just did it again. I didn't even realize it that time.
Yeah, I think you do. But that's fine. Like, people with ADHD, I feel, have an easier time expressing themselves.
What do you mean?
Creatively. Since they don't have the filter on their head and their brain, or they do have a filter, but it's not as fine-tuned as everybody else's. So that when they say shit, they can say all of it.
Have you ever thought that like maybe psychology? Okay, the study of like the human mind, psychology, right? That's what it's called. Just making sure. I was just thinking that like maybe psychology is just a bunch of pseudoscience, you know? Because there's so many ways that people have been misdiagnosed, thought they were something else, but they were completely not. And it wasn't just by chance; it was consistent too. I told you about the story about the guy who was on a charge for beating somebody up at a bar, right? And then to get out of going to jail, he played the role of someone who's mentally ill. He said that he was a psychopath, right? And then he was actually sentenced to 12 years in a psych ward when he was only going to face 5 years in jail. And every single time he tried to prove himself that he wasn't a psychopath, all of the things that he was trying to do to prove himself made him look like even more of a psychopath. And then this one, the guy who's researching this, because this is in a TED Talk, so the guy who's giving the TED Talk, he went to like the CEO to give him an interview, because he had the idea of like asking him questions to see if he was a psychopath or not, based off of the characteristics based off of like what the list of psychologists have made.
Based on
the list that psychologists have made.
Based on.
Based on. Is that what? That's what I've been saying, right?
You've been saying off.
Based on. Based off.
Based off doesn't make any fucking sense.
Based off.
How do you base something off of something?
What's the difference?
You base something on a table. How do you base something off a table?
You don't base anything on a table. You put something on a table. My neck.
I've been wanting to do that the whole time.
More.
I don't know.
Now I need something to touch. Don't base anything. Let me base this on the table real quick.
Anyway.
Shut up. What are we talking about?
You don't base something off of something.
No, before that.
I don't know. Oh, you said psychology was a pseudoscience.
Oh yeah. Long story short, the CEO had all the stuff that fit the criteria as a psychopath. So yeah, psychology is probably pseudoscience.
I don't think it's a pseudoscience. I just don't think they're fine-tuned it yet.
Or maybe some things just aren't supposed to be meant to be a study.
You could study anything. They just haven't cracked down on it yet.
Crack down on psychology, the human mind.
It's hard to.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of acquired savants?
No.
It's you know what a savant is?
No.
Okay, so a savant is somebody who's born with a disposition to make them really good at like a specific thing.
Okay.
And like super good, right? Most of them are like geniuses in like math and science and shit. And they also have like other disorders like Down syndrome, right? Because it's a disorder.
Okay.
And like, there's this one savant that was born with the condition, right? And he was able to just like map anything with like really fine detail.
Okay.
And then acquired savants are somebody who like were born without the disposition, but then acquired it somehow later on in their life through like a near-death experience, right? So there's this one guy who became a math whiz after he got beat up in a bar. And there are other people who have been like hit by a baseball, playing baseball, and he ended up becoming. He was able to predict any day on a calendar in the future. So if you gave him like a day in like March 20th, 2024, he'd be able to tell you like what day of the week it'd land on, and he'd be able to tell you like what was the weather in past days on exact days. I don't know. That was just really cool.
I think people. I've been people are more connected to the universe than we think we are. Because even saying that, like you said, you can like predict what happens on a certain day or recall whatever happened on a certain day. I think being an acquired savant, or people that are acquired savants, or is that how you use it? Mm-hmm. They're just more connected to what they were meant to do.
So it's like your future is already set in stone.
No.
There's that one theory. It's not a theory. It's like a belief where people believe that the future is already predetermined. I remember reading in religion class. I just forgot what it was. Oh, we're at 55 right now. 45.
Oh. Okay, well, let's wrap that up. That was a pretty mediocre podcast.
Good talk.
Turn it off. You just love